The Case of the Golden Scarab, a Quartermain and Holmes saga. It was a misty evening in London, and the gas lamps cast their eerie glow upon the cobbled streets. In the cosy sitting room of 221B, Baker Street, Alan Quatermain sat across from Sherlock Holmes, his rugged, sun-kissed visage a stark contrast to the pale intellectualism of his host. A fire crackled between them, the warmth a welcome reprieve from the cold outside. Holmes lit his pipe, his piercing grey eyes fixed on Quartermain. "You mentioned an urgent matter that brings you to London, Alan. What troubles you?" Quartermain leaned forward, placing a weathered leather satchel on the table. He unfastened the buckles and withdrew a small, golden scarab. The artifact gleamed under the flickering firelight, its intricate hieroglyphs seemingly alive with ancient secrets. "This," he said, his voice low, "is the Scarab of Thutmose, a relic said to lead to the lost tomb of the pharaoh's magician. But it's cursed. 3 men in my expedition died under mysterious circumstances. I barely escaped with my life." Holmes raised an eyebrow, his fingers steepled in thought. "Cursed, you say? Or is it merely the greed of men that invites peril?" Quartermain's lips tightened. "I'm not one for superstition, Holmes, but the deaths were no coincidence. And now, I fear, someone has followed me back to England to claim the scarab." At that moment, a sharp knock echoed through the room. Dr. Watson entered, his revolver drawn. "Holmes, there's a man lurking outside. He's armed and seems intent on watching this building." "Interesting," Holmes murmured, rising swiftly. "Watson, keep an eye on our visitor. Alan, let us examine this artifact more closely." Holmes retrieved his magnifying glass and studied the scarab. "The craftsmanship is exquisite, undoubtedly Egyptian, but..." His voice trailed off as he pointed to a faint mark on the underside. "This symbol is not hieroglyphic. It's modern. A maker's mark, perhaps?" Quartermain's eyes widened. "The scarab is supposed to be thousands of years old. How could a modern mark be on it?" Holmes' expression darkened. "That, my dear Quartermain, is what we must discover." The following day, the trio ventured into the heart of London, following Holmes' deductions to a small antiquities dealer in the East End. The shop was dimly lit, its shelves crowded with relics from far-off lands. A wiry man with a crooked smile greeted them. "Welcome, gentlemen. Interested in something rare?" Holmes' sharp gaze pinned the man. "We seek information on a golden scarab, one marked with this symbol." He handed the man a sketch of the mark. The dealer's face paled, but he quickly recovered, forcing a grin. "Can't say I've seen it." Quartermain's hand fell to his revolver. "Try again, friend. Lives depend on it." The dealer hesitated, then sighed. "Fine. The mark belongs to the Order of the Golden Ankh, a secretive group obsessed with Egyptian artifacts. They'll stop at nothing to obtain what they seek. Where can we find them?" Holmes pressed. "Their leader, a man called Ramses Black, operates from an abandoned manor in Surrey. But be warned, they're dangerous." That night, Holmes, Watson, and Quartermain made their way to the manor. The moon hung low, casting long shadows over the decrepit estate. Inside, they discovered a labyrinth of chambers filled with stolen artifacts. In the center of the largest room stood Ramses Black, a towering figure cloaked in black robes. "You dare trespass," he roared, his voice reverberating through the chamber. "The scarab belongs to the Order." Holmes stepped forward, unflinching. "The scarab belongs to history, not to those who would use it for greed or power." A fierce battle ensued. Ramses' henchmen attacked, but Quartermain's sharpshooting and Watson's steady aim held them at bay. Holmes, ever the tactician, used the environment to outwit their foes, toppling shelves and trapping Ramses beneath a fallen statue. With the scarab returned to safekeeping, Holmes turned to Quartermain. "Your relic is safe for now, but its true place is in a museum where its secrets can be studied without bloodshed." Quartermain nodded. "Agreed. But I can't help wondering, is the curse truly broken?" Holmes smiled faintly. "Curses are merely shadows, Alan. And shadows disappear in the light of reason." As dawn broke over London, the two adventurers parted ways, each heading toward new horizons, Quartermain to the wilds of Africa, and Holmes to the next enigma awaiting his brilliant mind.